Hey guys, Julia here. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm setting up my bullet journal for December. This is going to be a wild ride of a setup because I only have 3 spreads left in my entire bullet journal and I'm determined to make it work for me. I actually have an entire vlog where I prep for this month's setup, and I'll leave that up in the cards and in the description below, but we're setting up an entire month in this video and I'm starting off with the cover page. It's honestly crazy that there's even a dedicated cover page, but the theme this month is an advent calendar, and if you've watched that vlog I mentioned, you saw the very moment I came up with this theme, crust in my eyes and all. But the idea for this one came from just thinking about how I was going to stretch these last few pages in my journal. I knew that flip ups and tip-ins were definitely going to be a thing. I had just ordered a stationary advent calendar from Paper and Craft Pantry, and yeah, I just thought it made the interactiveness of the flip ups and everything seem more intentional and just bringing that into the theme idea itself. So yeah, that's why I went with that. So for this cover page, I'm splitting the page into 12 blocks or little advent doors, and in each one, either working in a holiday-centered icon, an actual door handle of some sort, or like a month indicator. So across this row, I'm working in DEC for December, and the lettering inspiration I found in one of our mini lettering books. I don't think this one had a specific name, but it is from the 1950s, I do believe, but I just thought it had the right holiday vibes, and it was way easier to pull off than I thought it was gonna be. So I drew out the letters per usual, and in the counters of the letters, I did little swirls and leaf shapes that connected back to the letter. And if you don't know, counters are the little areas that are entirely or partially enclosed by the letter form itself. So think of the inside section of an O, or like here, that the inside of the D. Those are called counters. You'll also see I did little small hatches inside of the letters, and that was inspired by some other lettering I saw while perusing books, but I ended up just combining a couple of things, coming up with this lettering style, and I love how they turned out. But yeah, December is about to be a little wild and crazy for me. Of course, there's the usual work and YouTube stuff with a little bit of extra because I'm setting up my 2023 journal, which for some reason I'm super nervous about. I think I know what colors I'm going to use, and I know most of the spreads I want to include, but also like, I'm not sure about what else, like aesthetic wise, I guess. The funny thing is I don't think I'm putting pressure on myself because of filming it or anything. I think it's one of those things where I love the journal so much that I want to do it justice or something. I don't know. Ever feel that way about a new journal? It's so silly. But yeah, that's happening, and Cam's mom is coming to stay with us for a month or so through Christmas, so that'll be really fun. My filming setup is going to have to change a little bit, but I'm definitely gonna get that figured out. I have a dance show this month, so it's coming down to the wire for that, and then just the usual rush of the holidays. So like, I'm excited about the month, but also a little nervous about keeping, like, I guess, sane through everything, so send good vibes, please. All right, yay tangent. Back to the journal. So after I have all of these squares filled out, I'm gonna go back through and add in little white highlights, and also around the edges in the DEC boxes, I'm doing what's called stippling in the corners. And stippling is just adding a bunch of dots for shading. So the more concentrated the dots are, the darker. The more far apart they are, the lighter the area seems. So in this case, I'm doing a lot of dots near the corner and then less dots as I fan out from there. So alrighty, the next step is to really sell this advent calendar idea, and that's making these little doors, and I already have those cut out. On the first one, I'm drawing a cute little ribbon tied in a bow, trying to keep everything in the same sort of style I've been working on up to this point. On the second one, I'm doing a little bell, which is a subtle little callback to my Krampus theme from last year's December setup. I'll pop that up in the cards too if you're new and want to check out another December theme that's a bit more darker in nature, I guess. But yeah, to get the doors in here, I'm taking my little cutter and just lightly grazing vertically down the paper. This is called scoring, where you just like run the blade but don't cut all the way through the paper. Also super helpful if you're making like folding cards, just an FYI. But over on the next page, I've got a little room for a quote up there. So I've gone with, "Today is the perfect day for opening new doors." Not only does this feel like a little punny, which I'm all for with the Advent calendar theme, but you know, during the end of the year, us planner folks just tend to skip to the next year, and it seems earlier and earlier every year. Or is that just me? But I think this quote is basically a reminder that every day is an opportunity, and don't throw December in the trash for progress just because it's the end of the year. But after some editing magic, I've got my 3 habit trackers in under the quote, and I'm starting down below on my little fake out flip up. I've added in a folded notepad page down along the bottom, so that gives me some extra space underneath. But on top here, I'm just continuing the Advent doors using that same style and color palette I've been working with all along so far. I think this could easily get very chaotic looking, but as hard as it was, I definitely restricted myself to just a few colors and repeated those colors to help bring it all together and just cut down on the chaos. This would actually be super cool as a monochromatic situation too, maybe like just shades of green or something, but alas, here we are. So under this flip up would have typically just been a new page, but we don't have the space for that. But this is where my monthly calendar is gonna live. If you're new to the channel, first, please consider subscribing if you like atypical themes and questionable humor. But also secondly, I guess, I've been loving this vertical calendar layout. So even though I goofed a little bit and ran the number headers vertically, you don't have to flip the notebook or anything to read the calendar. The days just run up and down versus horizontally. So basically you would read an entire week down a single column instead of traditionally you would read like left to right. So yeah, getting that in there. I'm still loving this sort of layout. I'm going to go and bring back that stippling technique in the corners for the calendar just for some extra pizzazz. Adding in some washi, just doing some little gray lines to indicate the weekends. And yeah, there we have it. One spread with some covery decoration, a quote, habit trackers, and a monthly calendar. All right, this is where things get a little weird for me, but we're going straight into weeklies. And I mentioned it last month, and it's for sure been a thing a couple of months now if you've been keeping up over on Instagram, but I've turned into a dailies girly somewhat. So right now I'm adding in the sort of decorative touches that tie in the theme. The numbers refer to the first day and the last day that the page will be used for. But yeah, what's happening is I'm using one spread for 2 weeks. This spread will share one flip up task bank, which I'm putting over on the bottom right of the spread. So I'm doing my daily to-dos. I'll be pulling those from the rolling task list over on that side. The only thing really missing from my typical weekly here is the events and meetings section. And for that, I figure it's only one backwards flip to grab that information and put any meetings and events with the daily sections as I get to them. If this is making zero sense to you, I'm so sorry. This is a little hard to explain, but I will be throwing up after the pin and progress photos on my Instagram in the stories, so definitely follow me over there if you're interested in this type of spread layout. Also, there will be a flip through video of this entire journal as soon as I get through these spreads and have some time to make that happen. But yeah, same story on the right side of the spread. The only difference is a smaller flip up for the dailies to make room for that task bank flip up. Flipping over, the next spread is for the last 2 weeks of December, and it's really the same story here. I'm just using, of course, different numbers to indicate which days the page is for, different colors, icons, and flip-flop the lettering styles just to change it up a bit. If you're wondering, yes, this made my journal a bit more chunky with all of these flip-ups back to back, so I would say not to do this for every page ever if you want to give this a try. I think it would work better though if you have like a lighter weight paper. This paper is 160 GSM, so it's pretty thick. And on both of these spreads, I went ahead and put in the first header for each week. And flipping over one last time, yeah, you can see we're getting into some of the back of the journal spreads, which is a mess, but hey, I knew what I was getting myself into, so this is my big brother tracker from this summer. But on the other side of that, I'm just pushing through with 2 sections to wrap up the journal. A gift tracker and just some miscellaneous Christmas section where I can track movies I want to watch, activities, meal stuff. No clue at the moment, but I know I'll need a Christmassy section. The gift tracker is what it sounds like. I'll track what I'm gifting this year, what it is, who it's for, what it costs, when it's purchased, received, wrapped, shipped, all of that. Yeah. And then over on the side, I'm bringing back the lettering style I used on the cover page just to do a little G for gifts, a little C for Christmas as little side headers. I wanted to bring back the little stippling situation from the first page as well. I don't know, sort of reminds me of glitter or dusty snow. I just like how it looks. Washi tape to finish it off, and that'll do it. Big brother spread and all. All right, let's flip through this month's setup and see how it all looks together. I feel like I have to pat myself on the back for making this setup work with only 3 spreads and a page to work with. I did leave out the night log and the focus check-in this month, but it's going to be a crazy month anyway, and I think that's totally fine. Thank you so very much for watching, and be sure to come back for new setups and new journals. Click the notification bell so you don't miss those, and I'll catch you all in the next one. And if you like this video, here are a couple more I think you would enjoy.